What's up, family? This is your man, not your boy. Go black to Africa. So did you hear the news? I heard the news. I even read the news. Now, Afghanistan, the Taliban, who's in control of the country right now, they said that they are not going to cultivate nor sell opium any longer. That they saw the devastation of what their youth were on the streets as they were out and about, and how it has a lock on the children with their addictions to this opioids, heroin, as you would call it here in America. And also for here in damn America, that you're gonna find that your pain medicines, opiates, that some of the people are addicted to come from the opiates. Now, if anybody knows anything about history, you need to go ahead and research and see, where does damn Erica, that's right, put the D in front of America, capitalize the E, where does she get the opiates from? Now, you see, I did my 20 years in the military, and see, I know my so-called veterans who've been over there in Afghanistan, who will sit and tell you they were out there fighting off the Taliban to protect these opiates, so-called foreign lands, and the cultivation that was going on, that they were over there protecting it, that they felt they weren't fighting the so-called supposed terrorists, they were protecting the opiates, opium, that makes heroin. That's right, heroin as some say, but think about this. And I want you to think about this long and hard. We just sent out our troops, supposedly, that's supposed to be evacuating our so-called people who worked over there in the embassies, and some of the Afghanistans who were also hired as employees and given jobs during this whole 20 years of fighting off a terrorist. That we are removing these troops. But now, just 2 days ago, they said, the Taliban, they're not going to be cultivating and selling it. Now, let's see what damn Erica's move is going to be now. Because some pharmaceutical companies, and those who have investments in them, and in those who are in the drug business, you know, those leaders that you voted for, the investors, those who have power behind the scenes in the daggone opium business, we gonna see what's gonna transpire here in the next month. Because I'm here to tell you, the stories are gonna change here quickly if damn Erica can't get her hands on that opium. We gonna see the excuse they say now for to send the troops back in there to control it, because unbeknownst to many, opium is a $1 trillion industry that countries around the world depend upon. And it just so happens that Afghanistan is one of the leading countries that produces it. So don't be shocked. Don't be surprised when you hear, oh, damn Erica has decided to send troops back in. But let me warn you and educate you what's going to come transpire before that even happens. There's got to be a campaign. That's right, propaganda, in order to convince you all, the American people, so that you can accept the troops to go back in. That what stories are they going to tell? Is the Taliban killing people? Is the Taliban going and massacring or children and women? What is the story they're going to tell to be able to win you over, to accept the troops to go back in to overtake Afghanistan? Now, I ain't saying that this is going to happen, but I've been around long enough and serving 20 years in the military that I've seen the things that have transpired. I've been over there in the Gulf War. I was over there during that whole invasion of Iraq. I was there when I heard the stories, when I knew the truth. When you see on the news over there, the report CNN was reporting when I was working in the headquarters and knowing what's going on, and yet they telling lies to the American people. That's right. This is your man. I'm one here to tell you that. The lies that were told through the news that was being reported by the system. We were standing there in Riyadh, in headquarters, over there in Saudi Arabia, the headquarters, with General Schwarzkopf, who was leading the way, and General Chuck Horner that I worked for in 9th Air Force, that he came under General Schwarzkopf, that the stories that were being reported was not true. And so I know, as I watched over these years that I was serving in the military, there has to be a campaign to win the people over so that people will believe that such of something is happening in order to get those troops back over there. Now, we're going to sit back and watch, but watch the reports of anything dealing with Afghanistan and see for yourself, does the story change? Because they just reported, the Taliban, they're not going to cultivate, they're not going to sell, distribute, manufacture opium any longer. Somebody's upset, y'all. Somebody's mad. And somebody is going to be trying to make way to get back in Afghanistan. $1 billion industry with the so-called opiates just here alone in damn America. The pharmaceutical companies, how many of the leaders are invested in those companies? How many of those leaders are into the so-called opium, heroin industry? How many of these drug centers out here who are giving people who are addicted to it these other alternative drugs that's supposed to wean them off, that's going to have an effect? Who they are invested in these companies and clinics and pharmaceutical companies. Sit tight, family, and be watchful and be vigilant in the reports that's going to come forward so that you are ahead of the game and don't fall for the story, but that you know it's going to be a big deal. And so while our troops were losing lives to protect the poppy seed, the poppy plant, for opium, for who and for what? Do yourself a favor. Go on YouTube and look up the military troops who whistleblowers who were talking about they were over there for just the sake of the opiums. Go look up what the reports some of these veterans were talking about. They got them out there, family. And a lot of them are very upset. Some were killed. Some were injured. Some came right back here to damn Erica, and she didn't even help them as veterans to get the proper treatment that they needed. $300 million per day was spent for 17 years. And yet we veterans have to fight to get care, to get disabilities. This is your man, not your boy. Go black to Africa.